Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we're not here today for just another casual talk. No, we've gathered for something far deeper. Something the world often whispers about behind closed doors but rarely has the courage to confront out loud. It's a silent struggle, a private battle that leaves hearts confused and consciences torn. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to condemn you. I am here to bring light to one of the most misunderstood corners of a man's soul. The practice of masturbation. Let's talk about this boldly, with honesty, with compassion, and with truth, because it's the truth that sets a man free. And without truth, freedom is just an illusion. We live in a world that is loud, deafening even, with messages that urge indulgence. Every screen you scroll, every song you hear, every conversation you pass seems to echo the same message: if it feels good, do it. If it brings you pleasure, it must be right. But I have seen enough years and spoken to enough men with gray hair and weary eyes to tell you, pleasure without purpose leads to emptiness. There was a time when pleasure was seen as the fruit of something meaningful. A man worked hard, and he enjoyed the sweet reward of rest. A husband loved his wife, and their intimate union was sacred, mutual, powerful, holy. But somewhere along the road, we lost the meaning and clung to the feeling. We began reaching for pleasure as if it were the destination itself. And that's where many young men unknowingly start their silent descent, through habits that quietly steal life from them. It often begins with something that seems harmless: masturbation. Let's be honest, this is not an easy conversation. It makes people uncomfortable. It's far easier to laugh it off, to avoid it, to dismiss it with, "Everybody does it, so what's the big deal?" But deep inside, countless men go to bed with a hollow ache in their souls, chasing a pleasure that doesn't satisfy, doesn't last, and never builds. It only takes. You see, masturbation is not just a physical act. It is deeply spiritual. It touches the mind, the heart, and the soul. And when a man returns to this isolated pleasure again and again, it teaches him dangerous things. That intimacy requires no relationship. That desire needs no discipline. That satisfaction can be manufactured, without love, without sacrifice, without purpose. But this is not what you were made for. I've spoken to many old men who have grown honest. Often because they no longer have the energy to wear masks. And they will tell you, "If I could go back, I wouldn't have spent so many years in that cycle. I thought it was harmless. I thought it was just release. I didn't realize I was dulling something sacred inside me. I didn't know I was slowly becoming numb." And that's the word they keep using: numb. Numb to real connection. Numb to the beauty of patient, sacrificial love. Numb to the power of self-control. You were not created to be a servant to your urges. Your urges were designed to serve your purpose. Every great man in history, every faithful husband, every loving father, every disciplined leader, each of them understood this. Desire must always be directed towards something greater than momentary release. Purpose must lead pleasure. If pleasure leads purpose, it will drive you toward ruin. I'm not here to throw stones. I'm not here to condemn you. I am here to warn you. I am here to plead with you. Don't waste your precious years chasing a thrill that cannot hold you when you're alone. Don't pour your strength into the ground. Don't trade your birthright for a bowl of fleeting satisfaction. Choose the higher way, the harder way, the way of purpose. Learn to govern your body with wisdom. Learn to wait. Learn to channel your energy into building, loving, creating, serving. And when the time is right, you will discover that pleasure joined with purpose is not just better, it is sacred. It satisfies not just your body, but your soul. So let me ask you, what kind of man do you want to become? Will you be the man who's always reaching but never full? Or the man who walks with purpose, discipline, and peace? There is a certain kind of silence that begins to suffocate a man's life when he gives himself over to private habits. Habits no one talks about at church. Habits that friends mock in passing. Habits that culture shrugs off as normal. But in the quiet hours of the night, something feels wrong. There's a restlessness, a gnawing emptiness. A man can feel something slipping away, not all at once, but slowly, like sand slipping through his fingers. That's the slow erosion that happens when a man trades purpose for pleasure and chooses secrecy over light. No man wakes up one morning and says, "I want to be bound by my urges." It always starts small, a moment of curiosity, a season of loneliness, a screen in a dark room. What begins as just once becomes a pattern, a comfort, a drug. But the soul was never designed to thrive in isolation. And when pleasure is separated from purpose, it begins to decay the heart from the inside out. For many men, masturbation becomes a secret sanctuary, a place where no one else is allowed, not their wives, not their friends, not even their God. It becomes their escape when they feel stressed, anxious, bored, or ashamed. But here's the cruel twist: the more they run to it, the more shame they carry. It doesn't fill them, it drains them. It doesn't free them, it enslaves them. The lie says it brings relief. The truth is, it traps you in a cycle of release followed by regret, again and again. And the worst part? They don't talk about it. They don't confess it. They just carry it, a heavy stone pressing on their soul. But listen to me. What grows in the dark holds power over you. What remains hidden controls you. But the moment you bring it into the light, it starts to lose its grip. This is not just about behavior. It's about bondage. You cannot conquer what you refuse to confront. There are thousands of old men today, hunched over under the weight of years of secret shame, who wish they had learned this truth when they were young. Healing begins not with willpower, but with honesty. When a man finally says, "I can't do this alone," he takes his first step toward freedom. When he dares to tell a brother, a mentor, a counselor, or even God himself, "I've been trapped in this," he shatters the silence that's been suffocating him for years. And in that moment, light begins to flood in, not to condemn, but to cleanse. Hear me. You are not disqualified because of your struggle. You are not beyond hope because of what you've done. The reason old men regret these habits is not because they were the worst sinners, but because they wasted too many years pretending they were fine. They wore the mask. They kept the smile. But behind it, they were exhausted. You don't have to wait until you're old and tired to change. You don't have to carry that burden. You can choose today to walk a new path, not a path of shame, but of truth, not a life of secrecy, but of surrender. The world says, hide it, handle it, but wisdom says, confess it, be healed. You were made for more than moments of secret relief. You were made for connection, for purpose, for peace. And that peace doesn't come when you indulge your impulses. It comes when you master them, not through pride, not through guilt, but through grace and truth. And the truth is, you are not alone. You never were. This is the quiet battle many men fight, a battle that steals joy, purpose, and peace. A battle that often begins with curiosity or loneliness and quickly becomes a chain wrapped in pleasure that promises life but delivers emptiness. And this is the hard, undeniable truth that many old men now wish they had known. Pleasure without purpose always leads to emptiness. We just talked about how chasing pleasure without purpose leads to emptiness, a hollow pursuit that leaves men reaching but never satisfied. But let's go deeper, because feeling good isn't the same as being fulfilled. That's the harsh truth many discover too late. Countless men have spent years chasing fleeting moments of pleasure, only to wake up much later with a heavy heart, quietly wondering, where did my energy go? Where did my fire disappear to? You see, the body, magnificent, intricate, powerful as it is, was never meant to be a playground for endless self-indulgence. It was crafted for something higher, something nobler, a purpose rooted in connection, responsibility, love, and self-control. When a man continually seeks pleasure in isolation, outside the beauty of meaningful relationships, he begins to dull his soul. Slowly, quietly, he grows numb to the beauty of genuine intimacy, numb to the steady, soul-building joy of shared love, numb to the higher calling written on his life. This numbness doesn't simply make him feel less, it robs him. It steals his strength, his focus, his very sense of identity. Many men, reflecting on their lives, speak of this numbness with deep regret, a regret that they fed a habit, year after year, that offered temporary relief but left lasting pain. A habit that seemed harmless but quietly took from them the life they were meant to fully live. But this struggle carries another layer, one that far too few talk about: shame. Shame thrives in the dark. It grows in secret, when a man hides his battles, when he locks his struggles behind closed doors. Shame doesn't just stay, it multiplies. And this shame isn't simply guilt about what he's done. It's something far heavier. It's the deep-rooted belief that he is a failure, that he's less than who he was meant to be. Shame whispers to him, "You're alone. No one would understand. No one can help you." And that belief isolates him. It tightens its grip. It makes the struggle even heavier. But the most powerful truth is this: the very thing that binds him is the key to his freedom, bringing it into the light. When a man chooses honesty over hiding, confession over silence, the chains of shame begin to crack. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. It takes raw courage. It takes trust. But the moment he speaks, whether to a friend, a mentor, a counselor, or even God himself, he begins to break the power of secrecy. There is freedom in truth. There is healing in light. But here's another secret, a truth many older men painfully wish they had known sooner. Your mind is a garden. What you plant there will grow. The images, thoughts, and fantasies you nurture in secret are seeds. Some seeds grow into mighty trees that bear good fruit, peace, strength, wisdom. Others grow into choking weeds, lust, anxiety, despair. What you feed grows. And far too often, young men unknowingly nourish their minds with fantasies that train their hearts toward selfishness instead of love, toward instant gratification instead of patient growth. Looking back, many men now say with sadness, "If only I had guarded my mind better, I would not have walked so far down the wrong path." They realize that every thought they entertained, every image they lingered on, every fantasy they pursued shaped their desires and controlled their actions. The battle was never just physical. It was mental. It was spiritual. Because you cannot conquer the body without first conquering the mind. So what does this mean for you, right here, right now? It means the battle with pleasure, with secrecy, with shame. It's real, but it does not define you. It means the chains forged in silence can be broken through community and truth. It means you hold the power to plant good seeds, to guard your mind, to direct your thoughts toward what builds you instead of what breaks you. You were made for more than momentary thrills. You were created for connection, for discipline, for deep and lasting joy. When pleasure is tied to purpose, when shame is replaced by honesty, when your mind is cultivated with care, you begin to truly live. And don't forget, you are not walking this road alone. Many have fought this battle before you and found freedom. There is grace for your struggle. There is hope for your future. And the choice to start again, to walk a different path, is available to you today. You see, this is a silent battle that rages in the hearts of countless men. It starts softly, almost invisibly, but with each passing year, its grip tightens. It begins with something natural, the pursuit of pleasure. But when pleasure is separated from purpose, it leads to a lonely, hollow road. Many men, especially in old age, look back with aching hearts, wishing they had known this sooner. Chasing pleasure without direction only carves out a deeper emptiness inside. In today's world, the temptation is louder than ever. The culture around us shouts, "Do what feels good, anytime, anywhere." But feeling good in the moment is not the same as being whole, as being truly well. The body, as powerful as it is, was never meant to be a slave to desire. It was built to be governed by wisdom. When pleasure becomes the master, it drains a man's strength, dulls his spirit, and steals the joy of deeper, lasting fulfillment. Many men learn this lesson too late. They spend years trapped in habits that promised relief but only delivered regret. Pursuing pleasure without purpose becomes a quiet theft. It steals time. It drains vitality. It erodes the capacity for real intimacy. They become numb, unable to feel the richness of life beyond the temporary thrill. And that numbness? It's the thief of the soul. But there's more than just numbness. There's the weight of shame, a heavy burden that grows in the dark corners of the heart where secrets hide. When a man conceals his struggles, pretending all is well, shame wraps tighter around him. He feels alone, isolated, unworthy of help. The silence becomes his prison. And with every hidden moment, the battle grows heavier. But here's the good news. The very chains of shame can be shattered by one courageous act, bringing what's hidden into the light. Honesty is the beginning of freedom. When a man confesses his struggle to a trusted friend, a mentor, or to God, he begins to dismantle the walls shame has built around him. Freedom doesn't come through perfection or hiding. It comes through truth, through community, through grace. Old men who've walked this hard road will tell you, their greatest regret wasn't the struggle, it was living in secrecy far too long. They carried burdens they never had to carry, simply because they were afraid to step into the light. And there's one more battle, often overlooked but absolutely critical, the battle of the mind. The mind is a garden. Every thought, every image, every fantasy you allow to take root will grow. If you fill your mind with harmful fantasies, with selfish images, you will harvest confusion, anxiety, and warped desires that pull you further from peace. But if you guard your mind, planting seeds of purity, hope, strength, you will bear the fruit of self-control, dignity, and true peace. Many men look back and wish they had guarded their minds more fiercely. They now see that the battle was never just physical. It was always mental. It was always spiritual. Because the habits of the body are just the reflection of what the mind has been feeding. And here's the powerful truth. Self-control is not weakness. It is strength. Too often, men confuse discipline with denial, as if saying no to harmful desires makes them less of a man. But true manhood is not about being ruled by desire, it's about mastering it. Desire itself is not wrong. It is natural, but desire must be governed by the will to choose what is good, what is right, and what is lasting over what is easy and what is fleeting. We've seen how guarding the mind and embracing self-control is the turning point in this battle. A battle not only for the body but for the soul. Now, let's go one step further. Because here's the hard truth. What feels pleasurable for a moment often leaves a lifetime of consequences. Freedom is not the license to do whatever you want. It's not the reckless pursuit of every desire. True freedom is the power to choose what you ought, the strength to choose what is good, what is right, what will truly build you into the man you were meant to become. A man who exercises self-control walks with strength, with dignity, with purpose. He's not a man who is tossed around by every urge. He is a man who can confidently say no to what weakens him and yes to what makes him stronger. And this strength doesn't just shape his days, it leads him to peace. A deep peace that comes from living in harmony with his deepest values and his highest calling. So I tell you, don't wait until you're old to learn these truths. Don't wait until regret has settled in and the weight of wasted years presses on your shoulders. The chains of secret pleasure, unchecked thoughts, silent shame, and a weakened will can be broken, right now. There is grace available to you. There is hope, and there is power for change. Today, you can choose to walk the path of purpose over the path of fleeting pleasure. You can choose honesty over secrecy, purity over temptation, and strength over weakness. Your life is worth more than a collection of temporary thrills. You were made for more. You were made for freedom. Many men carry this silent burden, a struggle buried beneath polite smiles and casual conversations. It's the quiet war between temporary pleasure and lasting purpose. And too often, it's a war that goes unnoticed until years have slipped away and regret has settled in. Pleasure, on its own, always promises much but delivers little. Young men chase it, believing it will satisfy, only to find themselves empty and longing for something deeper. And here's a truth that many old men wish they had embraced sooner. Pleasure without purpose always leads to emptiness. In a world that constantly shouts, "Do what feels good," it's easy to forget that true fulfillment is never found in momentary satisfaction. The body was never meant to be ruled by desire. It was designed to be governed by wisdom, to be led by purpose. When a man's pursuit of pleasure becomes disconnected from his life's purpose, he begins to drift, slowly, quietly. He drifts away from the life he was created to live. What may start as innocent curiosity can quickly grow into a habit that drains his energy, dulls his soul, and weakens his ability to form deep, meaningful connections with others. Alongside this struggle comes the crushing weight that so many men carry in silence: shame. Shame grows in the dark. It thrives in secrecy, in unspoken habits, in hidden truths. Shame whispers, "You're the only one. No one would understand. If they knew, they wouldn't accept you." But shame is a liar. It isolates. It paralyzes. It convinces a man that the mountain is too high, that the chains are too heavy. But the only way out of shame's prison is through honesty. When a man steps into the light, when he dares to confess his struggle to a trusted brother, a mentor, a friend, or to God. He begins to dismantle the power shame holds over him. Freedom is not found in hiding. Freedom is found in truth. Many older men look back with deep sorrow, wishing they had stepped into the light much earlier, wishing they hadn't spent so many years trapped in silence. This battle isn't just physical, it's deeply mental and profoundly spiritual. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant there will grow. The thoughts you nurture, the images you entertain, the fantasies you replay, these are seeds. And those seeds will bear fruit. When a man fills his mind with harmful images and selfish fantasies, those desires grow stronger, they demand more, they control more. But when a man chooses to guard his mind, to carefully feed it with purity, with wisdom, with life-giving thoughts, he begins to cultivate self-control and dignity. Many men, looking back, say with regret, "If only I had protected my mind more fiercely, I wouldn't have walked so far down the wrong path." They realize now that the battle was not just against the body, it was always, first, a battle for the mind. Because the mind leads, and the body follows. Self-control is not suppression. It's not weakness. It's not denial of who you are. It is power. It is strength. It's the ability to guide your desires instead of being driven by them. A man with self-control is not less of a man. He is more of one. He has the courage to say no to what harms him, and yes to what builds him up. This is where true peace begins. A peace that comes from living in alignment with your values, with your purpose, with the life you were designed to live. Freedom is not about doing anything you want. Freedom is the power to do what is right. And here's another lesson many old men wish they had learned sooner. The power of connection is greater than the pull of isolation. Masturbation and secret struggles often grow strongest in solitude. But men were never meant to walk alone. Emotional, spiritual, and relational connections are not optional, they are essential. When a man isolates himself in his battle, he grows weaker, his chains grow tighter. But when he chooses to reach out, to trusted friends, to a supportive community, to God himself, he finds strength. He finds accountability. He finds healing. Many men look back and say with heavy hearts, "If only I had opened up sooner. If only I had asked for help." Don't wait until regret finds you. Start building those life-giving connections now. If you remember nothing else from this moment, remember this. Your value is not found in what you've hidden or the mistakes you've made. Your value is found in who you are becoming. You are not defined by your struggles. You are not trapped by your past. There is grace for you. There is healing for you. There is hope for you. The choice to walk a new path, a path of purpose, honesty, self-control, and connection, is yours to make today. You were made for more than secret moments of relief. You were made for freedom. Choose freedom, choose purpose, choose life. So many men carry a hidden struggle, one they rarely speak about, but one that quietly shapes their lives. It often starts so small, a spark of curiosity, a lonely season, a desire for comfort, and before they know it, it grows into a habit that slowly steals their joy, their peace, their strength. Pleasure is not the enemy. Pleasure, in itself, is a beautiful, natural part of being human. But pleasure without purpose will always lead to emptiness. Many men, especially as they grow older, look back with sadness and wish they had understood this sooner. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification, a world that constantly screams, "Do what feels good, right now." But real fulfillment isn't found in chasing every urge. It's found in living a life anchored in meaning, discipline, love, and wisdom. The body was never created to serve desire. The body was created to serve purpose. When pleasure becomes your master, it will drain you. It will dull your spirit. It will slowly strip away the beauty of real intimacy and connection. And as this struggle grows, so does the burden of shame, a silent, suffocating weight that convinces many men to stay alone in their pain. But the key to freedom has always been the same: bringing what is hidden into the light. Honesty and confession break the chains. When a man speaks, when he shares his struggle with a trusted brother, a mentor, or God, he begins to reclaim his life. Many older men now know the sorrow of wishing they had stepped into the light much sooner. The mind is a garden. What you plant will grow. The thoughts, images, and fantasies you allow to take root will shape your life if you feed your mind with selfish, unhealthy desires. Those desires will enslave you, but if you guard your mind, if you choose purity, wisdom, and hope, you will cultivate self-control, strength, and dignity. Many men now see this clearly. The battle is won or lost in the mind first. Self-control is not weakness. It's not denial. It's not about crushing who you are. It's about mastering your desires, not being mastered by them. It's about freedom. A man with self-control is not a man who has lost. He is a man who is finally free. This is the path that brings peace, the peace of living fully aligned with your values and your calling. True freedom is not permission to do anything, it is the power to choose what is good. And one more truth. Men were never meant to fight alone. Solitude fuels the struggle. But connection brings healing. When you build emotional, spiritual, and relational bonds, you grow stronger, you find accountability, you find hope. Many men regret the years they spent hiding. Don't wait. And finally, embrace grace. Change is a process. You will fall, you will get back up. But grace is bigger than your mistakes. Grace is patient, grace heals, and grace will carry you forward, one step at a time. So today, you get to choose. Will you stay trapped in secret habits that steal your joy? Or will you step into the light with honesty? Guard your mind, build life-giving connections, and embrace grace for the journey? You are not defined by your past. You are not beyond healing. There is hope. There is freedom. You were made for more. If you take nothing else with you, remember this: you are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair, and the choices you make today will echo for the rest of your life. May today be the day you step into the light. May today be the day you take back control, not by willpower alone, but by wisdom, by courage, and by truth. And may your story not end in regret, but in redemption.